I should start probably by giving you the final pitching line for Rich Harden tonight. 8 2/3 innings, 4 hits and 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts, and somewhere around 110 or just over that in number of pitches. 113 and 77. Thank you very much, JT. And Harden, most of the runners came early in the ballgame against Rich. One on an error in the first inning, but there was no problem there. However, in the second inning, a play occurred, I think, that had a huge bearing on the way this ball game was going to turn. And after that, Harden just took it like a bulldog and took it in his teeth and ran with it. Steve Finley doubled for the first hit of the night off Rich. A hard shot to right field past the diving Nick Swisher and was moved over to third on Benji Molina's out. So with the runner at third and the infield in, and these tourists at the plate, this came to be a big play. Finley opened the inning with a double. He's now at third with 1 out. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swinging a bouncer back to Harden. Harden scoops it toward the plate where it's taken by Kendall. He goes running down the third base line to get Finley in a rundown. Flips to Chavez. Chavez at the plate for the tag by Harden. And down to second base goes the hitter, Torres.
That's not the way they draw it up.
That was the strangest looking play I've seen in a long time. A little broken back, soft comeback. Then Harden came down, reached down to pick it up with a glove, but he wound up shoving it toward the plate, and it went right to Kendall. And apparently, looking at the replay, there was an impetus provided by the fact that he partially kicked it with a foot, but it was accurate right to the plate. And after that, he got Cabrera on a ground out to end the inning. Then in the third inning, there was one more period here where things were going to perhaps test him, but it came after the A's gave him a lead in the top half of the third inning, starting with Mark Ellis at bat.
Here's the 2-1 to Ellis. Bounced on the third base line, a base hit rolling into the corner. Mark turning at first. Anderson can't find the ball as it rolls around in the corner, and Ellis is rounding second, and he's going to third. And so Ellis at third with nobody out in the third. The ball rolling down into foul territory right down the left field line where it's almost like the hockey boards in the corner down there. And Garrett Anderson has been playing left field forever in this ballpark. Just couldn't find the ball, couldn't pick it up over there as it carried him back behind him.
The A's had left 2 on in the previous inning, but Jason Kendall was determined not to let that happen here. Kendall hit a high fly ball to center field, and it was an easy score for Ellis coming on with the sacrifice fly, and the A's had that 1-0 lead. And after that, Washburn got pretty tough, but in the bottom half of the inning, in the third, Kennedy singled to start proceedings, and with Thiggins batting, Kennedy was cut down by Kendall's throw trying to steal second base. And that put a little halt on the running game, which was a big factor for the Angels in their victory last night. But the dangerous runner Thiggins walked and then went to second on a steal while Erstad was batting. Erstad, like Thiggins, went to 3-2, and he walked. So suddenly Harden had 2 on, and Guerrero and Anderson coming up. But he popped up Guerrero and then struck out the dangerous Anderson, whom he got 3 times with strikeouts tonight. And that started his run of consecutive batters retired that took him to 16, and at that point 2 out in the 8th inning of the ballgame. Meantime, Washburn himself retired 9 out of 10 until facing Katse to lead off the top of the 6th inning. Swing, and there's a drive to left center field. Well hit. Finley on his horse, racing back, reaches up and can't get it. It bounces off the wall, and he retrieves it as Katse moves into second base with a stand-up double to lead off the 6th inning. One of the few opportunities the A's have had tonight in this 1-0 game which they lead. And then Crosby drew a walk on 4 pitches. It looked almost like a pitch around. Chavez is due up next, but Chavez had really difficult time in the first 2 at-bats by striking out each time and not looking good doing it. And Washburn won the battle here. He got Chavez to ground to Kennedy, who tagged the runner and threw to first for a 4-3 double play, making 2 outs and putting Katse at third. But then Kelty drew a walk on 4 pitches, setting up a matchup between Washburn and Jay Payton, one of the newest A's. And the pitch on the way. Line drive. Base hit to left center field. In comes Katse. Over to cut it off is Finley. Throws to second. As on over to third base goes Kelty. And Jay Payton comes up with a big knock. A blistering line drive over the leaping effort of the shortstop, Cabrera, and drives in the run, his 25th of the year. 2-0 Athletics. And, of course, the byword against the Angels, get all you can before you're done in the 6th inning. And Nick Swisher did his best. 90 pitches now for Washburn. Now he sets again. Delivers. There's a ground ball up the middle. Backhand dive, Kennedy from one knee. Slips it in time for the force out. A tremendous run-saving play by Adam Kennedy on a ball bound for center field by Swisher. And the 4-6 force of Payton ends the inning and limits the A's to 1 run. And as we go to the bottom of the 6th, it's 2-0 Athletics. And Harden was able to keep things in order with a 1-2-3 inning on the way to that stretch of retiring 16 in a row. But there's more than one way to score a run, as Dan Johnson proved leading off in the 7th.
The Angels have just 2 hits. The A's have 4 hits. And Washburn's delivery. And there's a deep drive to right. And Guerrero is just going to watch. And, man, is that a blast. Way back in right field. Dan Johnson gives the A's a 3-0 lead. And that was an absolute no doubt about it. His 5th home run.
And once again, shutting things down. Harden got a strikeout, a ground out, and he was rolling through the Angels lineup like a steamroller as he faced his Turrets.
Strike 3 called. Pitch was up. Bring him up. Strike 3 on his Turrets. 14 straight retired by Harden. 2 strikeouts in the bottom of the 7th. And he has a stretch of 16 consecutive scoreless innings going. And after 7, 3-0 Athletics.
That's what it was when the Angels came up in the 8th. And after the first 2 outs were achieved, he had 16 straight retired before he walked Figgins with 2 out in the inning, but got Erstad to ground out. Going into the 9th inning with the A's still leading by that 3-0 count. When they didn't score in the top of the 9th, Harden came out in the bottom half. He got Guerrero on an outstanding play by Chavez at third on his line drive that he knocked down and threw to first. He fanned Anderson for the 3rd time tonight. Steve Finley, though, spoiled the cruise to the finish with a solid single, his 2nd hit of the night. And so is Benji Molina, the object of Harden's quest to try to get the complete game shutout. Finley to the lead at 2nd. Infield back all the way around with 2 out in the 9th inning. 3-0 A's. And the pitch. There's a swing and a drive into center. It's going to get down. Base hit. And scoring from second base is Finley. And the shutout is spoiled by the Angels here in the 9th inning. It is 3-1 A's. And the tying run can get to the plate for the Angels.
Josh Paul is going to pinch run.
Josh Paul is another catcher. East Tourist represented the tying run, but he has not homered this year. The call went to Houston Street, who took a couple of pitches before he found the strike zone, throwing balls on the first 2 offerings, but then things went the A's way. Chavez is playing a step up on the grass for a pretty speedy hitter from the left-hand side. Off the outside corner, it's ball 3. It's 3-1. Now Street takes a walk back off the mound. Ken Maka doing a little pacing in the A's dugout. This is the scene of a lot of big Angel comebacks, especially in their championship season of 02. 3-1 the count to East Tourist. Here's the pitch runner going, swing, high fly ball down the left field line, shallow, Crosby out, racing in, Payton makes the catch in fair ground, and the A's have evened the series and go back over the 500 mark by 3 games as Rich Harden pitches a gem tonight and then needs Houston Street to get him the final out of the ball game as the A's go for the series in the decider tomorrow night with Barry Zito against Paul Berg. Final score, A's 3, Angels 1. And also will decide up to this point in the season who has the edge in the season series. Right now it's tied at 4 games apiece. Ken will have the score.